Hello, everyone. I'm Janet, CEO of Northwood. I want to start by acknowledging the important conversations and actions that are happening about racism, diversity, and inclusion in our communities. We appreciate the significant contribution of our African Nova Scotian colleagues and other equity seeking persons and acknowledge that there is still work to be done to provide an inclusive and respectful environment for everyone. Northwood remains committed to continuing these conversations and actions to do everything we can to achieve and celebrate inclusiveness, equity, and diversity. As we begin our journey on our road to recovery, I'm pleased to report that we have no active COVID-19 cases in our Halifax buildings. This includes residents, staff, and our tenant population. And we continue to be COVID-free at our Bedford facility. As we transition out of an active outbreak, we remain ever vigilant to ensure the safety of our community and those in our care. Our staffing levels have stabilized, and we are actively planning for a time when we can bring back services like the hair salon. The delivery of these programs are dependent on public health guidelines, and we look forward to the day when our little village is buzzing with activity again, of course, with the appropriate socially distanced and physical distancing guidelines in place. We can't wait to see our community coming together again. We are continuing our efforts to provide residents with private rooms in our Halifax campus buildings. As many of you know, some of our residents have asked to remain with a loved one or a friend, so we're considering and respecting their wishes where possible. We are in active discussions with the Department of Health and Wellness regarding our future planning for our Halifax campus buildings. Earlier this week, we welcomed family members to our Halifax and Bedford locations for outdoor visits with your loved ones. It was touching to see the happy reunions and smiles on everyone's faces. This is so important for the well-being of our residents who have been quarantined and isolated to their rooms for many, many weeks. So we're so pleased that we've been able to move this forward. These visits have been going very well, and we're very grateful for the beautiful weather we've been having to support those outdoor visits. We also want to thank our visitors that are following the safety measures that have been put in place to assure the safety of not only our residents, but the general community. It's important that we continue to follow the guidelines set out by public health. We know many of you want to see your loved ones as soon as possible. Just as a friendly reminder, these visits are being scheduled in advance and there are no drop-ins allowed. We have been contacting families to schedule visits and provide details about the outdoor visitation process, including reminders of proper distancing and use of masks while visiting. We appreciate your patience as we continue to reach out to families and the substitute decision makers via email or phone. The details of the process and safety measures are available on our website, but generally 2 visitors are allowed per resident at a time for up to 30 minutes in the courtyard. There will be a minimum of 3 residents and their families permitted at any given time, with marked spaces to ensure proper physical distancing. Visits will be scheduled 7 days per week. As you'll see, there are strict guidelines in place to ensure the safety of our residents, their families, and the community. I encourage you to review the safety guidelines before you arrive. A staff member will also be prepared to meet you and walk you through the process. As we begin our recovery, we know how important it is to mourn those friends and families who were lost during the pandemic. We have a beautiful floral display and memorial in the courtyard to remember those who were lost. During our recovery, we will continue to test residents and staff who are tested negative for COVID-19 on a weekly basis until the facility is declared clear by the medical officer of health. We will continue screening at all entries. Universal masking and added precautions will continue for the immediate future. And again, that's guided by public health orders, as well as our Northwood's infection control protocols. Safety and care of our residents remains our priority as COVID-19 is potentially still circulating in our communities. We have seen from the experience of our neighboring province and other jurisdictions how tricky this virus is. We are not letting down our guard. Remember, our staff live in your communities, so we appreciate everyone's support in ensuring a safe place for our residents to live with dignity. Thank you so much.